This is my Blastzuka Extreme, more commonly known as the XBZ. Like many Nerf enthusiasts, I have modified mine to shoot darts, and because I've done that, it shoots darts very far. It's originally intended to shoot a foam rocket. Unlike most XBZs, I've developed a special magazine system to work with it, or I guess more generically to work with any blaster, but this was handy and this is how I've been testing it. So as this is set up, you load darts into the barrel, or you load one dart into the barrel by pulling this back and pushing it forward once. If you want to load more darts into the barrel, that's an option you have by just repeating that motion. And in order to charge the tank, pump from here, push the blast button here, and the darts will leave the barrel. General idea is you have a magazine and you have a fairly powerful blaster, although it is somewhat inconvenient to pump it up. These magazines is something I sort of developed after playing with the katanas and looking at the kathanas and just deciding I didn't want to try and do something that was compatible with the injection molded katana magazines. I wanted to just do something that worked good as a 3D printed thing. And somehow I also wound up doing a fixed magazine. This is much better, of course, for a one-off build, because that if I have a one-off build with a one-off magazine standard, I have to make sure that I have a working magazine or magazines to go with that. Since this is a fixed magazine, it's not going anywhere. If it goes off the blaster, this is the blaster as far as I'm concerned. You load darts by opening the bolt, and you just push them in. This one feels kind of squishy. I feel sketch about putting it in. We'll see if it jams. Anyhow, you're just as you're mashing more darts through these spring-loaded doors. The spring is just a regular coil catch spring sized helical spring in there. So these doors will naturally tend to swing back to the center position. As that's happening, this follower keeps getting pushed back farther and farther by the darts, but there's no spring pushing behind it. Instead, it has a constant force spring, originally intended as a replacement for old Nerf Raider drums. With this constant force spring trick, which I did not come up with, look into the Kathanha mags if you're interested in more about that. This has given me and other Nerfers a new source for springs for Nerf magazines. That's always been the limiting factor stopping people from making homemade Nerf magazines. It was basically impossible to find anywhere where you could buy a spring anything remotely like what Nerf would use. Fortunately, these are pretty cheap to manufacture. Apparently, Foam Blast Shop is selling them for $2.50 each. Anyways, that's what I used. I think it's an awesome way to make your magazine work, and I think all Nerf magazines should switch to using springs like this. Nonetheless, what I was excited to show you in this is this push-through magazine system. The darts, as they are pushed up, the stop point is actually established by the bottom of these doors that swing open. Which is a little sketchy if they don't swing all the way back. It is possible, although rare, for a dart to not be quite in the right spot and cause a jam because of that. You can of course prevent this just by fixing it. It does eat my finger a bit, and that is something I worked on with the next stage of this, and sort of fixed, but sort of didn't fix. Good news is the version after that, I had a totally different system that didn't eat fingers at all.